So it looks like the ANBERNIC RG552 will be on sale in 18 hours as of this recording. And yes, it's going to have that new 5.36-inch screen, one of the biggest ANBERNIC handheld devices to date. But it's a little disappointing, especially with this. Let's zoom in here. $236.99. And you all voiced your opinions on the video I made the other day where the price, that's a deal breaker. Exactly. There's an RGB 10 Max, there's a Retroid Pocket 2, there's so many other options out there. But let's just have a quick look and see that everything that was in that leak actually is true. For example, it is going to be the 5.36 inch, it is going to be a 5:3 ratio, resolution 1920 by 1152. This will look great. Now, the other thing I didn't highlight much, which does add value, is that 10-point touch screen. That's pretty cool to have, especially with Android, right? So it's going to perform a lot like a phone. That adds a little bit more utility. But as people mentioned in my comment section, why not just buy like a Samsung Galaxy S10 or many of the different Android phones out there and use that to game? Now, you don't get the analog sticks, but you can easily buy a controller and then out the door be at a similar price with way more performance using like a Snapdragon chip instead. They're touting, even more compatibility than ever. But if you look at some of these, forums and things, people are a little excited. They're like, one, it's a very steep price, but two, they're like, ANBERNIC's been knocking it out of the park with all their devices up to date. You got the RG351, the 350, the 280. So maybe it's about time that they had a flop, or maybe, but this is what I was talking about, which is, people want PlayStation 2, they want GameCube, right? If they're going to spend this extra money, they want to see some performance, some real performance increases, which we're not seeing. You're basically just seeing a bigger screen with a slight performance upgrade. Now, they still don't talk about whether the Wi-Fi chip is going to be built in or not. I can't seem to find that information. A lot of times they don't like to put the Wi-Fi chip inside because it doesn't do as well as, for example, a Wi-Fi chip on the exterior. I can't see that anywhere, whether they're going to include that or not. They do have that top vent now to exhaust the heat that this thing is going to produce with that faster processor. But let's look at these stats. Exactly what I reported on the last time. 2 batteries instead of 1 to handle the bigger processor. The processor is going to be this with, the GPU CPU combo. The screen is really the biggest, the showstopper is supposed to be the screen, in my opinion. And I don't know. Like I said, there's lots of other options out there. The thing I was saying why I think it will sell units, just not maybe as many, is because you can get it preloaded, like with the 64 gigabyte extra, where it's going to totally come preloaded. And oh my goodness, you get a number 5 here. You get a screen protector included this time. But here you go. Like, here's their marketing picture, right? Like, okay, it still has dual SD cards, okay, which is okay, but all their older systems did that. So you can run like a Linux and an Android at the same time. You have that new chip I was saying, and then, the screen. The screen is highlighted in white here. I'm sure it's going to be a gorgeous, gorgeous screen, but a lot of Android phones have ridiculously nice screens with higher refresh rates and things like that. So, I think they're kind of in this, point now where we have the Steam Deck and all these really nice handhelds coming out, and they're kind of, with the supply chain maybe, or just the fact that they're afraid to maybe go all out on something. I think this one will hurt them a little bit. That being said, I'll put links to all this in the description. My point, I agree with all you. It's really expensive. I agree. You should absolutely get a phone instead of getting this. But if you like that, it's a purpose-built machine, and you like the preloaded, ready to play out of the box without, adding more ROMs or anything like that, there is some value there. I've seen people pay hundreds of dollars for a RetroPie pre-built image. So for sure, it's going to sell some. But for you diehards out there, the ones that are probably watching my channel, who you're informed, what your other options are out there, you're probably not going to go for this one. But don't let me, persuade you one way or the other. If you're really looking forward to it, yeah, absolutely, go check it out. They do make nice devices. They do try to keep the price down, and it is plug and play. Right, exactly. Like that processor GPU combo. But, it's not just the board, right? It's the screen, it's the shell, it's the chart, right? There's lots of other things, but for sure there's probably a high markup on this. They're probably almost doubling their money. Exactly. A Snapdragon 865 plays GameCube and PS2 flawlessly. Far too high, crazy, price compared to the performance of some of the competitors. Somebody mentioned up here, what they would rather have, which I agree with the Retro Pocket 2 Plus, the Odin, the X18S. Yeah, definitely some other options to consider on this. So that's what we have so far on this. It goes on sale tomorrow. Let me know what you all think.